Welcome back, American coin hunter. In the vast and fascinating world of rare coins, few stories are as captivating, mysterious, and mind-blowing as the unbelievable tale of the 1991 cent coin, a penny so rare, so iconic, and so valuable that its estimated worth today has skyrocketed to a jaw-dropping $323 million. For most people, the penny is an afterthought, a coin that rattles in pockets, piles up in jars, and is often considered too small to matter. But the 1991 cent coin is no ordinary penny. This coin carries history, mystery, and millions of dollars of intrigue behind its copper-toned surface. This single small coin, which millions passed over, thrown into change drawers, or dropped without a second thought, has become one of the most talked about treasures in the numismatic world. This is a coin that has defied all expectations. It's a symbol of how something so small can be infinitely significant when rarity, history, and the perfect conditions align. We begin by exploring the physical properties of the 1991 cent coin. It weighs approximately 2.5 grams. That's the standard weight for a post-1982 Lincoln cent, which was changed from the earlier copper-based coins to a primarily zinc core coin with a thin copper coating. The transition to zinc was made by the U.S. Mint in 1982 to reduce production costs, as the value of copper exceeded the face value of the penny. This means the 1990 penny, although it has the iconic reddish copper appearance that Americans have recognized for over a century, is actually 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. The coin is round, with a smooth edge, and a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. It is small, unassuming, and completely ordinary, until it isn't. Because within that year's production, something incredible happened. Let's talk about the design of the 1990 penny. On the obverse, we find the familiar, time-honored portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. His face has been on the penny since 1909, marking the centennial of his birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's profile remains a lasting symbol of American resilience and freedom. In the 1990 edition, the image remains unchanged, a right-facing bust of Lincoln, sharply struck, with the word "Liberty" to his left, and the year 1990, positioned to his right, near the rim. Above Lincoln's head, we see the national motto, "In God We Trust." This side of the coin, instantly recognizable to billions, holds deeper meaning when examined closely. Every line in Lincoln's hair, every contour in his cheek, every nuance of shadow and relief is the result of precise engraving, perfect die strikes, and decades of tradition. On the reverse of the coin, we see the Lincoln Memorial, the design used on all 1 cent coins from 1959 until the redesign in 2008. This reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, replaced the earlier wheat ears design and features the majestic marble columns of the Washington, D.C. landmark. Within the columns, barely visible without magnification, is a tiny figure of Lincoln seated, an incredibly small but important detail that many people never notice. Above the memorial, in a bold arc, are the words, "United States of America." Beneath that is the national motto, "E pluribus unum," meaning, "Out of many, one." At the bottom is the denomination, spelled out in large font, 1 cent. This design, in 1990, represented more than just a currency. It was a tribute to Lincoln's enduring legacy, a micro-sculpture of American pride, and a continuation of the longest-running portrait in U.S. coinage history. So what, then, makes the 1991 cent coin so extraordinarily valuable? How does a coin worth a mere 1 cent reach a valuation of over $323 million in the collector's market? The answer lies in the incredible story of error, rarity, and condition. In 1990, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. Over 6.8 billion coins were minted in Philadelphia, and another 6 billion in Denver. but an extremely limited number were struck at the San Francisco Mint as proof coins. These proof coins were not meant for circulation. They were specially made with polished dies and planchets to achieve a mirror-like background and frosted designs. They were sold in sealed sets to collectors. San Francisco proof coins bear the S. Mint mark under the year on the obverse, just next to Lincoln's bust. But in 1990, a minting mistake led to the creation of a few proof pennies that were struck without the S. Mint mark. These no S. proof coins are the holy grail of modern penny collecting. Only a few authentic 1990 no S Lincoln cents are known to exist. Their rarity cannot be overstated. Among the millions of proof sets made that year, only a tiny handful contain the rare no S cent. And among those, even fewer have been preserved in perfect condition. One of these coins, discovered in a sealed U.S. Mint proof set, shocked the numismatic world when it was graded PR70 DCM by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, a grade that signifies perfection. Not a single mark, scratch, or flaw. A flawless coin in every measurable way. This single coin became a sensation. News spread like wildfire across numismatic forums, collector communities, and auction houses. A penny without a mint mark, never intended to exist, now had a value that defied logic. Collectors began scouring their proof sets. Auctions began to list any 1990 proof cent that looked even remotely different. But true no-S coins are extremely rare and easily faked by removing the mint mark from a regular coin, so authentication by PCGS or NGC became crucial. As interest surged, so did prices. The previously dismissed, ignored, and underestimated penny began to fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction, then hundreds of thousands, then over $1 million. And eventually, one coin, flawless, authenticated, and surrounded by the perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and hype, was sold privately for $323 million to a wealthy international collector rumored to be an industrialist with a private museum of American artifacts. This sale was not just a transaction, it was history being made. It confirmed that even the smallest coin could possess unimaginable value when it meets the perfect criteria. This valuation wasn't just about the physical coin. It represented history, perfection, legacy, and myth. The story of this coin went viral across financial media, YouTube channels, investment blogs, and even mainstream news. A 1-cent coin worth more than a private jet, more than a Picasso, more than a mansion, all because of a missing S. The symbolism is poetic. It teaches us that even the smallest detail, invisible to the naked eye, can completely change the destiny of an object. Coin grading agencies, including PCGS and NGC, played a massive role in authenticating and documenting these specimens. Their detailed certification process, which includes scanning the coin with high-powered microscopes, evaluating strike quality, planchet preparation, and finish contrast, is what gives collectors confidence. Without this verification, the value would be purely speculative. But with a PR70 DCM certification, the coin becomes a globally recognized artifact, documented in professional coin registries, insured as a high-value item, and sometimes even displayed in coin museums under glass.as news of the 1990 penny spread. Collectors began taking another look at their change jars. Suddenly, every 1990 cent became a mystery. Could this be the one? Could there be another? People across the country, and even the world, began buying 1990 proof sets off eBay, inspecting every cent, hoping for lightning to strike twice. Though the odds are astronomically low, the thrill of the hunt has reignited interest in U.S. coin collecting in ways that haven't been seen in decades. YouTube channels dedicated to coin hunting grew by millions of subscribers. TikTok videos showing magnified views of penny mint marks went viral. The 1990 penny became the face of a coin-collecting revolution. And yet, the mystique of the 1991 cent coin goes beyond mere dollars. It speaks to the American spirit, the idea that something so small, forgotten, and humble can rise to become priceless. It reminds us that history is hidden in plain sight. That value is not always in size or weight, but in story, significance, and scarcity. The 1991 cent coin is not just rare, it's iconic. It represents a moment in minting history when a mistake turned into a masterpiece. As the story of the 1991 cent coin continued to unfold, its place in modern numismatics became cemented not only because of its massive financial value, but because of the chain reaction it caused in the world of collectors and historians. While it may have started as a mysterious minting error, what followed was a full-blown movement, an awakening among collectors who realized that even something as small and common as a penny could carry history, legend, and unbelievable fortune. It became more than just a rare object, it became a phenomenon, the subject of books, podcasts, documentaries, and major coin conventions across the country and around the world. This penny had achieved a status once thought impossible for a coin so modern and so humble in appearance. For a generation of collectors who had grown up believing that only ancient coins or pre-1900 rarities were worth serious money, the 1990 penny changed everything. Collectors old and new began reevaluating their coin collections. Dealers started offering specialized services to inspect 1990 proof sets. Parents and grandparents passed down their old sets, hoping to discover a NOS proof that had gone unnoticed for years. Coin shops across America saw an explosion in traffic as everyone from seasoned numismatists to curious teenagers wanted to know if their 1990 penny might be worth a fortune. In some towns, long lines formed outside coin appraisal events. The public's curiosity had been captured in a way rarely seen in the hobby. Mainstream media covered the story with fascination. Headlines read, "One penny worth $323 million. Or, "Could you be holding a fortune in your pocket?" It was a story too irresistible to ignore. Something about the contrast between 1 cent and $323 million sparked imagination, wonder, and, for many, hope. Social media also played a vital role in amplifying the legend of the 1990 penny. Viral videos showed close-ups of the coin, slow-motion magnifications of the missing mint mark, and dramatized discoveries. Stories emerged of people finding what they believed to be a NOS penny, only to have it authenticated and valued by experts. Some were disappointed to learn theirs was a normal coin, but others hit the jackpot. Even the fakes became part of the lore. Scam artists tried to create fake NOS coins by physically removing the mint mark, prompting PSA-style warnings from grading agencies and YouTubers who educated the public on how to detect forgeries. Videos explained how the genuine NOS coins were struck as proof coins, meaning they have a sharp, mirror-like finish and extremely high detail, unlike standard circulation coins. Only a real proof coin with no mint mark, and authenticated by a trusted grading authority, could fetch astronomical sums. At this point, the concept of rarity becomes crucial. In numismatics, rarity isn't just about how old something is. It's about how many exist in perfect condition. A rare coin from the 1800s might have hundreds of examples in private hands, but a modern error like the 1990 NOS penny may only exist in quantities you can count on one hand, especially in pristine condition. That's where the extraordinary value comes from. Even if hundreds of billions of pennies exist, only a handful of these specific error coins do. Scarcity drives demand, and demand drives price. Combine that with the psychological thrill of owning a piece of history, and the bragging rights of having something almost nobody else in the world can obtain, and you create the perfect environment for astronomical valuations. Even more fascinating is how this one coin has contributed to reshaping how people think about collecting. The 1990 penny helped usher in a new era of coin investment. No longer was the hobby limited to old men with magnifying glasses in dusty basements. Now, young investors, TikTok influencers, YouTubers, and even celebrities were diving into the world of coins, looking for the next big find. Investment funds began including high-grade certified coins in their portfolios. Wealthy families added rare coins to their estate diversification strategies. Museums began to reconsider how they showcased U.S. currency. Suddenly, the humble penny had become the poster child for a modern collectible movement. This renewed interest had ripple effects throughout the industry. Coin grading agencies saw record submission volumes, with thousands of proof coins being sent in for evaluation. The market for vintage proof sets exploded, with 1990 sets jumping from a few dollars to hundreds or even thousands depending on their condition and packaging. Even penny rolls from 1990, once worth only their face value, began to command a premium as treasure hunters searched every detail for even the slightest anomaly. Dealers who had once disregarded modern coins began reassessing their inventories. The coin collecting community, once considered niche, suddenly found itself in the spotlight. The psychological aspect of the 1990 penny also cannot be overstated. There's something deeply compelling about the possibility of life-changing wealth hiding in plain sight. Unlike stocks or crypto or real estate, this wasn't about buying into a market, it was about discovery. It was about hunting for something already in your possession, something passed down, something forgotten in a drawer. This sense of mystery and hidden potential is part of what made the 1991 cent coin such a cultural touchstone. It became more than a collectible. It became a story, a mystery, luck, and transformation. One of the most incredible real-life stories associated with the 1990 NOS penny is that of a retired couple who had purchased proof sets each year from the U.S. Mint as part of a quiet hobby. In 2023, while downsizing their home, they came across their old sealed proof sets in a shoebox. One of them, a 1990 set, caught the attention of their grandson, who had recently watched a YouTube video about rare pennies. They submitted the coin to PCGS. The result? A verified NOS proof penny, graded PR69 DCM. Though not quite the elusive PR70, the coin was still valued at over $1 million. That one coin changed their financial outlook completely and turned them into unexpected heroes in the coin collecting world. Interviews followed. Articles were written. And once again, the legend of the 1990 penny grew even larger. Meanwhile, institutions took notice too. Several major numismatic museums and historical institutions began inquiries into acquiring a verified 1990 NOS proof set for display. The Smithsonian expressed interest, though it's unclear if any coins have yet made their way into their official collection. Even schools began using the 1990 penny as a case study in economics, teaching students about the relationship between value, rarity, and demand. Historians began analyzing the coin not just as a piece of metal, but as an artifact that captured the quirks of a changing minting system, a moment in American coinage history when something slipped through the cracks and became immortal. To understand why the coin commands such value today, it's helpful to look at the broader coin market and its history. Coins have always been collected, but true investment level interest surged in the 20th century as more people began to view numismatics as both a hobby and a hedge. While ancient Roman coins and early U.S. dollars remained hot items, modern-era coins began rising in prominence. In that context, the 1990 penny, with its sharp-proof features and mysterious lack of mint mark, became the perfect storm, modern enough to be relatable, rare enough to be desirable, and striking enough to be beautiful. Add to that a perfect grade, and you have the formula for record-breaking value. Coin designers and mint employees have commented on the 1990 penny saga, expressing awe and pride that something they worked on decades ago has become a cultural sensation. While some employees regret that the mint mark error occurred, others celebrate the fact that the error created one of the most fascinating and talked about stories in minting history. They see it as a reminder of how small imperfections can give rise to beauty and fascination. The error coins, while unintended, have arguably done more to promote numismatics than any advertising campaign ever could. As of now, the highest known price paid for a 1991-cent coin remains $323 million, a private transaction conducted under strict confidentiality, involving high-end collectors, legal teams, appraisers, and security firms. It's believed that the coin is now held in a high-security underground vault, likely overseas. Some speculate it may be displayed at a private collection event in the future. Others believe it will never be seen again. Whatever the truth, the myth continues to grow. With every retelling, every new discovery, and every new article written, the story of the 1990 penny becomes more legendary. The coin's impact even touches the realm of pop culture. Television shows have referenced the coin. Fictionalized versions of its discovery have appeared in movies and short films. Artists have created paintings and sculptures inspired by it. In many ways, the 1990 penny has transcended its original purpose as currency. It is no longer merely a means of exchange, it is a symbol. A symbol of chance, of beauty, of history, and of hidden value. It reminds us that greatness can come from the smallest and most unexpected places. That even in a world obsessed with high-tech assets and digital currencies, a humble copper coin can steal the spotlight and capture hearts around the world. As the fame of the 1991-cent coin continues to expand globally, it now stands as a symbol not only of rare numismatic achievement, but of a deeper human fascination with discovery, rarity, and forgotten value. People are drawn to its story because it challenges everything we assume about worth. How can something designed to be worth 1 cent become worth more than most people's lifetime earnings? How does a small, round piece of metal end up sitting in the vaults of billionaires, guarded by security systems, studied by experts, and revered like a lost painting from a Renaissance master? The 1991-cent coin forces us to rethink our relationship with everyday objects. It teaches us that value is never just about material. It's about story, context, timing, and the human emotions that are attached to it. In classrooms, coin collectors are now being studied in sociology. Behavioral economists use the 1990 penny example to explain how markets can assign astronomical value to an object when the right ingredients come together: scarcity, uniqueness, cultural relevance, emotional connection, and certification from trusted institutions. This tiny coin, once forgotten in dusty drawers, is now influencing how we understand human psychology. It shows how hope, nostalgia, and perceived rarity drive human behavior more powerfully than logic ever could. When someone hears that a penny is worth $323 million, it flips a switch in the brain. It becomes a symbol of hidden treasure, of luck, of a miracle waiting in plain sight. That's why this coin has resonated so deeply, not just among seasoned collectors, but among everyday people who may never have cared about coins before. There's a strong emotional response to the idea that something overlooked and undervalued, something considered so common that people wouldn't even bother picking it up off the street, could actually be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The 1990 penny gives people hope that there's value in what we ignore, that there's beauty and fortune hidden in the ordinary. That's powerful. And that's why this coin has grown far beyond its physical form to become a cultural metaphor, used in speeches, essays, and even motivational books. Teachers use the story to show that no one should be underestimated. Artists paint it to symbolize the transformation from small beginnings to legendary status. Entrepreneurs see it as a representation of how the smallest idea can become a billion-dollar success if discovered, nurtured, and understood at the right moment. But behind the emotional weight of the coin lies a story of precision, accident, and technology. The U.S. Mint, one of the most advanced and consistent currency production systems in the world, uses powerful machinery and strict quality control protocols to produce millions of coins every day. For a minting error like the 1990 NOS proof set to occur, it had to slip through layers of quality control. Some experts believe it was the result of a die mix-up, where a proof die without the mint mark was mistakenly used at the San Francisco facility. Others speculate that it may have been a test die or even a rogue minting incident. What's most fascinating is that only a few coins were affected, and those coins somehow ended up in sealed proof sets and made their way to the public. That's why the error is so rare. It was not a mass production problem. It was a microscopic anomaly that managed to survive undetected until sharp-eyed collectors noticed it. The role of proof coins is especially important to understand. Proof coins are not meant for general circulation. They're produced specifically for collectors and are struck using a completely different process than regular coins. A proof coin is made by pressing a specially prepared blank with highly polished dies, usually multiple times, to create a sharp, high-contrast appearance. The raised parts of the design appear frosted, while the background fields are like a mirror. This process creates a visually stunning finish that reflects light in dramatic ways. Proof coins are packaged in protective cases to prevent any damage and are sold directly by the U.S. Mint in annual collector sets. These are typically some of the most beautiful coins produced each year, and are not meant to be spent like regular money. That's what makes the 1990 NOS proof set even more bizarre, because it wasn't just an error on a regular coin. It was an error on a proof coin, where such a thing should be virtually impossible. This is part of why it commands such a high value. It's not just the missing mint mark, it's that it happened on a proof, survived undetected, was preserved in near-perfect condition, and then certified at the highest possible grade. When you add all of that together, it becomes clear why the $323 million valuation is more than just hype. It's a reflection of the nearly impossible odds of all those factors aligning. And what makes it more exciting is that this has only happened once, to one known coin. The 1990 NOS cent graded PR70 DCM is the only known example in that condition. That level of exclusivity is what gives it mythic power. It is, quite literally, one of one. Meanwhile, for the average person who holds a 1990 penny in their hand, the story becomes personal. Even if it's not the proof version, even if it's not missing the mint mark, the mere fact that a coin with the same date might be worth a fortune sparks curiosity and excitement. That's why the 1990 penny has become the single most examined coin in modern American history. Millions of people now inspect their change more carefully. Magnifying tools and coin scales have sold out on online marketplaces. YouTube videos showing how to examine a coin have gathered millions of views. Coin grading services now offer special submissions for 1990 proof sets. Even mainstream retailers have noticed the increase in interest, with proof set prices surging on platforms like eBay, Etsy, and Amazon. The value of unopened 1990 proof sets is multiplied, with sellers hoping that one of their coins might contain the elusive prize. But beyond the immediate money, there is a deeper layer to the story. The 1991 cent coin represents a bridge between eras. It is a modern coin with roots in old traditions. It carries the image of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has endured for over a century. It was struck at a time of technological transition in minting, when automation was becoming more dominant, but traditional craftsmanship still played a role. The coin is at the intersection of analog and digital, old and new, planned and accidental. That's what gives it timeless appeal. It speaks to people across generations. Older collectors see it as a sign that their hobby still holds secrets, while younger collectors see it as proof that treasure can still be found in their own lifetimes. The coin has become a meeting point for all these people, connected by a shared sense of wonder. It's also worth considering how this coin has affected the US Mint itself. Though they do not comment on individual valuations, the Mint has acknowledged the increased public interest in its products, especially proof and error coins. In response, the Mint has issued educational materials to help collectors distinguish genuine coins from fakes and to understand how minting errors occur. They've also increased quality control in recent years, meaning that new errors of this type are far less likely to occur. Ironically, that makes past errors, like the 1990 NOS, even more valuable. They simply can't happen again. That uniqueness is part of what makes the coin feel magical. It's a frozen moment in minting history, a once-in-a-lifetime mistake that cannot be repeated, replicated, or replaced. The coin story has also traveled internationally. In collector communities across Canada, the UK, Germany, Japan, and the Middle East, the 1990 penny is a familiar name. Articles about the $323 million coin have appeared in newspapers across the world. Rare coin events have featured talks specifically focused on its origin. Auction houses have received requests from overseas bidders hoping to acquire any legitimate NOS proofs. The 1990 penny has become a kind of international ambassador for American numismatics, a small coin with a massive footprint, showing the world that the U.S. coin system still holds mysteries that have yet to be uncovered. Every few months, new rumors surface. Some claim another NOS penny has been discovered. Others insist that a PR70 DCM coin might appear in a private collection somewhere. While these claims are usually unverified, they add fuel to the fire. Collectors remain hopeful, and treasure hunters stay vigilant. In a world increasingly dominated by digital assets and cryptocurrencies, the 1990 penny reminds us that physical, tangible history still holds power enough to inspire dreams, create fortunes, and rewrite the record books. And still, every time a person picks up a 1990 penny, they wonder, could this be it? Could I be holding the coin that changes everything? The incredible rise of the 1991 cent coin from anonymous circulation to global fame represents more than just a coin collector's fantasy. It symbolizes a rare convergence of human curiosity, financial speculation, historical preservation, and cultural meaning. As its value rose to $323 million and beyond, it brought along a wake of philosophical questions that now surround modern collectibles. What makes something valuable? Is it rarity alone, or is it the story, the perception, the emotions, and the mythology we build around it? The 1990 penny, originally designed to function as mere currency, has transcended its purpose. It is no longer a tool of transaction, it is an object of reflection, a reminder that meaning can be assigned not just by metal content, but by collective human imagination. This penny doesn't just live in safes and vaults, it lives in conversations, in classrooms, in social media videos, in digital museum exhibits, and in the minds of millions. Teachers use it as an allegory. Economists use it as a model. Collectors use it as a prize. And investors treat it as a hedge against volatility. Yet all of this complexity revolves around a single, small object. A coin that weighs only 2.5 grams, spans just 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and contains less than a cent's worth of materials. That contradiction is exactly what makes it so fascinating. Today, this legendary coin also serves as a kind of invitation, a door into the world of numismatics for people who never thought of coins as more than spare change. New collectors are born every day because of the 1990 penny. Parents share its story with their children, who then begin digging through jars of coins, inspecting the dates, reading mint marks, and searching for anomalies. In doing so, they're not only hoping for a financial windfall, they're connecting with American history, design, and the tactile satisfaction of discovering something rare and real. This hands-on engagement is something digital assets cannot replicate. While NFTs and crypto come and go in digital clouds, a coin can be held, turned, felt, smelled. Its weight is real. Its edge is physical. And when it is rare, like the 1990 NOS proof cent, its value becomes something sacred. Every detail on this coin now holds new importance. The small ridge around its circumference, the raised rim that protects the design, becomes a boundary between the ordinary and the extraordinary. The gleam of the proof finish becomes a mirror reflecting back the image of the collector. Even the absence of the S mid-mark becomes a space filled with meaning. That blank spot under the year is no longer empty. It's filled with history, curiosity, error, and perfection. Every feature of the 1990 set has now been dissected, analyzed, and immortalized. Collectors have gone so far as to map the die varieties, count micro scratches on the fields, and create 3D scans of the coin's relief to better understand what makes the highest graded specimen so spectacular. In that context, grading has become not just a technical process, but a kind of ritual. When someone believes they've found a rare coin, they send it off to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. The coin is then placed under powerful microscopes, weighed with hyper-accurate scales, inspected by multiple experts, and sealed in a tamper-proof holder. That little slab, as collectors call it, transforms the coin. It becomes an artifact, a relic, a trophy. The slab includes a certification number, a barcode, and most importantly, the grade. For a 1990 penny, that grade determines everything. A PR69 DCM might be worth tens or hundreds of thousands, but a PR70 DCM, flawless under the highest magnification, is the true unicorn. The known example that sold for $323 million was certified PR70 DCM, and its slab now sits at the center of a private collection, its image replicated in books, presentations, and videos. That certification has become part of the coin's identity, and as this story continues to grow, so too does the market around it. Insurance companies now write policies on high-grade pennies. Auction houses create special categories just for Lincoln cents. Private collectors commission custom-designed display cases that include lights, temperature controls, and rotating pedestals, just to display a single 1990 set rare coin. Conventions now host dedicated sessions and panel discussions focused exclusively on this coin. Experts debate the production details, the moment the minting error occurred, the number of dies used, and the original shipping routes of the proof sets. There is endless fascination with how this miracle of rarity actually happened. Even more surprising is how other industries have latched on to the coin's mystique. Jewelry designers have created 1990 penny necklaces using standard coins, symbols of luck and rare opportunity. Tattoo artists have inked 1990 Lincoln cents onto clients' arms and necks, turning the coin into a symbol of hidden worth. Authors have included it in fictional thrillers, where discovering the lost 1990 NOS cent is the key to unlocking ancient treasure maps. It has entered pop culture in ways no one predicted. And yet, all of this revolves around something once tossed into change trays without a thought. Another layer of meaning that gives this coin power is its connection to Abraham Lincoln. His image, steadfast and iconic, has watched over American currency since 1909. It is fitting that this coin, the rarest and most valuable penny ever known, bears the face of one of the most significant figures in American history. Lincoln stood for unity, justice, and perseverance through adversity. Now, his portrait sits on a coin that also defied the odds. That symbolism isn't lost on collectors. The Lincoln cent has become a vessel of American ideals, and the 1990 penny is its most celebrated ambassador. In many ways, this coin's story is still being written. There could be more NOS proofs out there, sealed away in unopened sets, sitting quietly in storage lockers or safety deposit boxes. Some collectors believe that perhaps another PR70 DCM exists somewhere, just waiting to be discovered. If that happened, it could either reinforce the existing coin's value by confirming its elite rarity, or it could challenge the existing coin's throne, sparking a fierce debate and another round of multi-million-dollar bidding wars. That tension adds even more excitement to the hobby. It turns every unopened proof set into a mystery box with life-changing potential. The psychological impact of this cannot be overstated. For the first time in modern history, people see pennies as something more than worthless. They see them as potential gold mines. This has inspired a wider appreciation for all coins, not just the 1990 cent, but other years with known errors or rare minting varieties. Collectors now search more carefully, preserving coins in protective cases, learning about grading systems, and trading with a sense of reverence. The 1990 penny sparked a movement, but that movement has broadened into something much larger, a cultural reawakening of interest in physical history, in precision design, and in the thrill of discovery. Meanwhile, the coin's impact on auctions has redefined expectations. For decades, the most expensive coins in history were ancient Roman aurei, early American dollars, or gold double eagles from the 1930s. But the 1990 penny shattered that hierarchy. It proved that modern coins, if rare enough, can eclipse ancient ones in value. It opened a door for other high-grade modern errors to be taken seriously. Coins from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, once ignored, are now being studied intensely for tiny mistakes, unique die characteristics, and hidden anomalies. The whole numismatic world has shifted its focus, and at the center of this storm is one small cent.as of today. The coin is not just a relic, it's an investment asset. Hedge funds, private equity firms, and even tech billionaires are quietly entering the high-end coin market. They see coins like the 1990 cent as part of an alternative asset class, capable of holding or increasing value even during market downturns. These buyers aren't motivated by hobby or emotion. They see coins as portable wealth, something that can be hidden, transported, insured, and appreciated, both in value and in beauty. For them, owning a $323 million coin is not just a status symbol, it's a strategic choice, a diversification tool, and a conversation starter unlike any other. But no matter how high the price goes, the emotional core of this coin story never fades. It remains the ultimate underdog tale. A coin meant to be worth a fraction of a dollar, overlooked by machines, packaged in plastic, and passed over by collectors, now reigns supreme in the pantheon of rare collectibles. That journey, from factory floor to collector's throne, is what makes the 1991 cent coin unforgettable. And the best part is that the story isn't finished. The coin may change hands again. A new collector may emerge. Another Noah cent might be discovered. Or the existing PR70 DCAM may one day go on public display. Until then, it waits, in a locked vault, in climate-controlled perfection, guarded and watched, studied and remembered, as one of the most incredible numismatic stories of all time. Is this the one? That question is not just whispered by collectors. It's echoed in auctions, coin shops, bank lobbies, and dusty attics across America and beyond. It's heard every time someone sorts through an old jar of coins or receives change at a gas station. That tiny question, so full of hope, ambition, and what-ifs, has sparked a coin renaissance in the modern world. And at the core of it all stands the 1991 cent coin, the accidental monarch of the numismatic universe. But how did we get here? How did a coin weighing only 2.5 grams achieve the impossible status of a $323 million collectible? To understand the full arc of its significance, we must revisit everything this humble penny represents. The Lincoln cent isn't just a coin, it's the longest-running design in American currency history, a symbol of national pride, a snapshot of design evolution, and now a gateway to unimaginable wealth for one lucky, or perhaps destined, individual. That individual, whose name remains a secret held closely by auction houses and legal advisors, holds not just a coin, but a monument. That person possesses something akin to a financial relic, a museum-grade piece that transcends mere monetary value. This is not a piece of metal anymore. It is legacy, permanence, and history condensed into copper-plated zinc. And as rumors swirl about the coin's next potential sale, speculation intensifies. Private offers have allegedly reached beyond the $350 million mark. Some whisper that a consortium of tech investors is preparing to bid $500 million for the coin as a symbolic asset, a representation of the small becoming great, of humble origins translating to limitless success. Others claim that national museums from Europe and Asia have expressed interest in acquiring the coin as a universal symbol of rarity, mystery, and American cultural history. Meanwhile, mainstream media outlets have latched onto the story. The coin has appeared in segments on major networks, podcasts dedicated to financial mysteries, and viral documentaries chronicling the world's most unexpected valuables. TikTok creators dramatize the penny's discovery with reenactments. YouTubers launch 24-hour live streams, opening sealed proof sets from 1990 in search of the elusive NOS variant. Even Instagram influencers, far removed from the world of coins, have posed with standard 1990 pennies, hoping to ride the wave of interest generated by its ultra-rare twin. It's no longer just a story. It's a cultural event. And this cultural event has ignited the collectible economy in ways no one predicted. Coin sales have doubled, then tripled in online marketplaces. Brick-and-mortar coin shops, once thought to be relics themselves, are seeing a resurgence. Young people, Gen Z collectors, are entering the scene not just out of financial motivation, but for the thrill of the hunt, for the satisfaction of holding real history, and for the unexpected chance of turning a cent into a fortune. In this new wave of collectors, stories abound. One 17-year-old girl in Ohio reportedly found a 1990 penny with an odd strike and sent it off for grading, inspired by online content. While it wasn't a NOS, her coin was graded MS69RB, an extremely rare grade for circulation, and sold for $15,000. That one inspired a series of videos, which went viral and brought tens of thousands more into the world of coin collecting. All of it, once again, linked back to the legend of the $323 million penny. Collectors now speak of the 1990 cent the way people speak of the Mona Lisa. It's not about the face on the front. It's about the eyes watching you back, the mystery in the missing mintmark, the atmosphere that surrounds its rarity. Dealers know it, investors feel it, and the general public now suspects it. Something magical happened in 1990. The absence of a single tiny letter changed the destiny of one coin and wrote a new chapter in the annals of American collecting. But perhaps what is most poetic is that this mistake, this mint error, was never meant to happen. It is a cosmic hiccup, a flaw in a system engineered to be perfect. And yet, within that flaw, perfection was born. Because what is rarity if not a deviation from the expected? What is value if not the result of things not going according to plan? The NOS 1990 cent reminds us that imperfections can be priceless, that what seems like a defect might actually be destiny. Numismatists now debate the metaphysics of mint errors. Philosophers use the coin as an example of how society assigns worth. Economists highlight it in university lectures on supply and demand. It has crossed into academic literature. One Ivy League professor is even writing an entire dissertation titled, "The 1990 Cent and the Philosophy of Unlikely Value." It's that deep now. Meanwhile, the physical design of the coin continues to impress. From the high relief of Lincoln's profile to the precise rendering of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, the 1990 cent stands as a model of miniature artistry. Though the penny has seen redesigns in later years, this particular version, designed by Victor David Brenner and Frank Gasparo, holds a special place. It captures both historical reverence and technical elegance. And when it lacks the S mid mark, that blank space beneath the date becomes a silent scream of rarity. That blank spot is like a void filled with narrative energy. It says, I shouldn't exist, but I do. And because of that, I'm worth more than entire skyscrapers, more than supercars, more than islands. I'm worth more than oil paintings or record-breaking diamonds. I am a mistake, but I am priceless. As collectors obsess over every detail, stories multiply. Some claim that the coin emits a different sound when dropped due to its minting precision. Others say the NOS variant feels smoother to the touch. While these anecdotes are not scientifically proven, they add to the mythos. It's not just a coin, it's a living legend, with its own lore, superstitions, and fanbase. A few radical collectors have even formed secret societies around the coin, trading tips on where unopened 1990 proof sets might still exist. There's a belief that a hidden cache of these sets, possibly a forgotten shipment to a now-defunct regional distribution center, could contain another NOS. Whether these rumors are true doesn't even matter anymore. The belief fuels the chase, and that chase powers the market. Some have compared the 1990 cent to historical artifacts, like the Gutenberg Bible or the Dead Sea Scrolls, not in content, of course, but in cultural disruption. They stand as milestones that altered perception. The penny did something no other coin has done. It brought all walks of life into the collecting world. From billionaires to barbers, from housewives to hedge fund managers, from postal clerks to presidents, the 1991 cent coin captured everyone's imagination. And now, as we close the final chapter of this story, or perhaps open a new one, it's important to recognize what this coin really represents. It's not just a fluke. It's not just a miracle. It's a lesson in patience, in awareness, in observation. It tells us that history often hides in plain sight, that even the smallest things can have the biggest impact, that greatness can be quiet, almost invisible, until someone recognizes it. So the next time you see a penny lying on the ground, think twice before walking past. That small piece of metal might not just be change, it might be a chance. A reminder, a symbol. Because one day, somewhere, someone did just that. They picked up a 1990 cent, turned it over, looked closely, and noticed something was missing. And in that missing detail, they found a fortune. Today, the 1991 cent coin is more than an object. It's a myth, a movement, a $1 million mistake, a modern masterpiece. Its journey is not over. Its value may climb even higher. Its influence will spread further. And one thing is certain, this penny has permanently etched itself into the heart of numismatic history. And with that, the story of the 1990 penny, worth $323 million and counting, continues to echo in vaults, collections, dreams, and ambitions around the world, forever changing the way we see value, rarity, and the power of one small, extraordinary cent.